आवाज को दबाया और कुचला जा रहा है। ये देश की आवाज के लिए लड़ाई है और इसीलिए ये नाम चुना गया।
After seeing everything, now Modi ji is calling NDA meeting with 30 parties.
विचारधारा तो अलग होनी चाहिए, इसी को तो प्रजातंत्र मानते हैं, लेकिन इसके बावजूद हम एक आए हैं क्योंकि अब लड़ाई सिर्फ हमारी पार्टी के नहीं है। कुछ लोगों को ऐसे लग रहा है कि परिवार के लिए लड़ाई लड़ रहे हैं। हाँ, देश हमारा परिवार है।
So our challenge will be all focus, all publicity, all campaigning, all program. It will be under the banner of India.
तो आज ये 26 पार्टियां हम सब लोग अपने लिए एकत्रित नहीं हुए। हम देश को एक तरफ बचाना है, जिस तरह से पूरे देश के अंदर नफरत फैलाई जा रही है उससे बचाना है।
Now, we do have a sense of the special 26 or the special 26 as far as the opposition alliance is concerned. But as far as the BJP is concerned, the National Democratic Alliance, who are the newer players? We're calling it 30 plus 8. Who are the 8 new entrants or possibly people who have rejoined the party after having severed ties with them? So let's one by one break down as to who these parties are, which of these parties importantly are going to be benefiting the BJP. The first one, of course, is the Lok Janshakti Party, Ram Vilas in the state of Bihar, that's led by Chirag Paswan. Remember, the condition that Chirag Paswan has put before the BJP is that the party wants all the 6 Lok Sabha seats of undivided LJP that it had contested and won in 2019. Currently, the LJP has 2 factions, the one that is headed by Chirag Paswan and the other one, of course, by Lok Janshakti Party that's been led by his uncle, Union Minister Pashupati Kumar Paras. And BJP, of course, wants them to bury that hatchet soon. Looking at the second party, it's the SBSP in Uttar Pradesh that is led by O.P. Rajbhar. That also becomes an important alliance because this alliance was, in fact, it sprung into action after Rajbhar met with Amit Shah in the national capital soon after breaking up with Akhilesh Yadav-led Samajwadi Party. And remember, when he was in alliance with the SP, had won about 6 seats in eastern UP, and that in fact caused a huge amount of loss to the Bharatiya Janata Party in the assembly elections last year. So that's why O.P. Rajbhar becomes very important. Another player, AGSU in Jharkhand, which is led by Sudesh Mehto, that is another important player. It is also, remember, a worry for the JMM, Congress and the RJD alliance in the state. Looking at the HAM, again in the state of Bihar, which is led by Jitan Ram Majhi. Remember, another entrant, re-entrant in fact, who had sworn allegiance with the BJP very recently. Going further and looking again at the state of Bihar, we have the VIP, which is led by Mukesh Sahani, another important player, and also the Rashtriya Lok Janata Dal. These are the 2 important people. This one's led by Upendra Kushwaha. Remember earlier, they were slightly stumped because that invitation for the NDA meet today had not really trickled down and gone to them. But right now, everything is not amiss. Everything is under control, and that's why they also become a part of this all-important alliance. The other one, JSP of Andhra Pradesh, led by, of course, Pawan Kalyan, becomes a very, very important alliance as far as the BJP is concerned. The Jan Shakti Party commands, remember, a strong loyalty of the Kapus, which is an OBC community in the coastal region. And it was also in alliance with the BJP since 2020. But that had hit a rough weather on ground, and now they're trying to give that alliance another shot. So these are the key players that we are looking at as far as the NDA is concerned. How far is that going to possibly function is also the big question, because remember, the BJP is infamous for not keeping its alliance partners happy. So before we actually delve into what really is happening at the NDA meeting, we will of course be bringing you all the breaking news updates from there. But let me introduce my guests on the broadcast who continue to be with us through the course of this 1 hour to discuss what should we expect out of the opposition meeting, and also on the other hand, this big NDA meeting that's currently happening. Rajiv Pandey of the BJP is with us. Matthew Anthony of the Congress is with us. Riju Datta of the Trinamool Congress. is also with us, and also joining us this evening is senior journalist Mr. R.K. Upadhyay. Now, Mr. Pandey, let me begin with you. Rajiv Pandey, the fact that it's a big meeting of the N.D.A. that's currently underway, and it is really important to ask you that one question. I just listed out those 8 political parties. Many of them are really small players. They don't even have a representation in the Lok Sabha, and yet their being with the BJP becomes important. Why is that?
You can remember that SVSP was with BJP in 2014 Vidhan Sabha election, and BJP has won more than 330 seats. So they have come back. It's not like they are not the new alliance partner. They were with us. LJP was our partner. They contested 6 seats and won all 6 seats. ARSU, we had HAM, VIP. Do you understand all the names you have said? You said that BJP is not good at keeping their alliance partner happy. I do not agree with this, because in Bihar, Nitish, when he was having only 7 seats and we had 40 seats, we projected him as a CM.
Yeah.
This first time I am talking about, when Samta Party was there. And then today, when Nitish was having just 40 odd seats and we were around 80 seats, we projected him, we made him CM. So it is not like that. In case of Maharashtra also, because you will talk about only these 2 cases named, Shiv Sena contested election almost similar seats. They won 50 seats. We won around 99 seats. This time. Last time at our own, we won 122 seats. So BJP is very good at keeping alliance, and that's why all alliance partners are there with us. The issue is
many of them have returned, and that's why I also reiterated there, Mr. Pandey. I'm not saying all of them are new entrants. I also said a lot of them are returnees. But before you actually make your point further, let me actually bring in Mr. R.K. Upadhyay to throw further light and add to what you're really saying. Mr. Upadhyay, if the BJP is so sure of the numbers, what is the reason for showing this strength of the 38 as opposed to the 26 of the opposition parties? I would bring you back in, Mr. Rajiv Pandey. I just want one perspective from Mr. Upadhyay, and then I'll come back to you. Yes, Mr. Upadhyay.
I think today's meeting in Bangalore has rattled BJP a little bit. Okay. I think that is something that is obvious, because they had not called the N.D.A. meeting for a long time. And suddenly they remembered that there is something called I.N.D.I.A. and they need to get their allies together. Okay. I think see, even the so-called India, I think they've come up with a good name, no doubt. Now they'll say that India is pitted against the BJP, or BJP is pitted against India, so they can claim that. But to what extent this alliance will work, one has to see. Because see, they've achieved 3 things today. One, giving themselves a name. Secondly, announcing a coordination committee. I mean, it's going to be set up. And thirdly, they will have a secretariat in Delhi. So these are 3, easy things to do, and they've done that. But the more important issues of alliance, of having the seat sharing, and then the leader of this grouping.
Yes.
So these are, very crucial issues which they have brushed aside. In fact, the questions were asked of Mr. Kharge as to who is going to lead this alliance. And then how are you going to do the seat sharing? Oh, these are small things. We'll look into it later. So, what they've achieved today is very little. But the fact that they've come together and they look more formidable alliance than an alliance that was there in 2019, yes, I think has made BJP realize that they need to get their act together to win the next elections.
Okay, quick point by Mr. Matthew Antony before I bring back Mr. Pandey in. Mr. Antony, do you think the Congress, and in a larger sense this entire grand alliance of opposition forces now called India, they are still staying away from the crucial question? And I'm not just restricting myself to who is going to be the chief ministerial face, who's going to lead the alliance. What about a common minimum program?
On this day of 18th July, the parties together have hereby adopted, enacted, and given to ourselves this name of India. You should understand that, if these all parties having different political reasonings have come together for a reason. They have come together for a reason because they find a common opponent in the BJP, not because of the BJP's political ideology, because they are destroying the idea of India. They are creating imbalance in India. All institutions are destroyed. peace is destroyed. Nobody in BJP wants to speak about Manipur. Nobody wants to speak about the restless issue. Nobody wants to speak about the price rise. And that's the non-democratic alliance. You have thrown out your alliance partners for the last 3 years. Where were you such love and memory for the last 3 years from 2019 onwards? It's a non-democratic alliance. BJP was oppressing their alliance, throwing away their alliances, piggybacking on the regional parties and then throwing them out of their states. So people have seen this. So this is where we are coming together. Now we have announced a common minimum, common agenda, 11 committee people who should be formed. And then, there's a secretariat formed. Nothing can be happening on overnight.
Okay.
Things will be formed. There's another session which is planned, another summit which is planned in Mumbai. And we will be forming the rest of the staircase, from there.
Okay.
And we are not going to kind of, say that, no, we are just forming everything overnight. There are things to be discussed and people are openly saying that, no, we have different political views and we have to come together for a common cause. And this is where we are on this.
Okay.
So
we'll
we
talk
are
further about that
definitely,
common cause, and I hope that this is not just restricted to be an anti-Modi alliance as opposed to the other larger goals that it needs to fulfill, if at all it will be, or if it wishes to be in power. Let me bring back Mr. Pandey now. Mr. Pandey, they're calling this a non-democratic alliance as far as the N.D.A is concerned, and the idea of India has been juxtaposed to this new nomenclature that the opposition alliance has got themselves.
Dehaji, thanks for again bringing that, because this is 3 versus 1, so we'll have to give a little more time.
I've just spoken to 2 players right now. Riju Datta is still left, but I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
No, there are 3. Even Upadhyay is talking like a Congressee. I understand.
No, he's the only neutral voice. Trust me.
Yeah, no, I have no problem. No, I don't want to. I just want to say this alliance, they are making some alliance, and even if this alliance, BJP got 303 seats out of 225 seats we won under the leadership of Modi ji, where we polled more than 50% vote. Then you will say why you are getting all these alliance partners. Let me respond that. That is very important. LJP, led by Chirag Paswan ji, is the strongest voice from Dalit community in Bihar. HAM, led by Majhi Sahab. He is a Musar community, rare teachers. He is Mahadalit. Come to Mukesh Sahni. He is a Mallah community from UP and Bihar. If you go every party, Sudesh Mahato, then you are talking about OP Rajbhar. Then you are talking about JDU. The 2 top leaders, RCP Singh, their ex-president, has joined BJP, and the biggest mass leader from JDU, who is from Query community, that is Upendra Kushwaha ji, is now has deserted JDU. So what is happening, you understand. BJP is trying for Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, and whoever has gone left us, Shiv Sena is right now with us. This Uddhav Thackeray is the 11th party. Shiv Sena, Uddhav, Balasaheb Thackeray, Shiv Sena, UBT. Shiv Sena is with us. And whatever they have committed error, the people have punished, and their own people have punished Uddhav Thackeray. Now he is my friend from Anthony, I don't know from which state he is. He's saying N.D.A. is a non-democratic alliance. What alliance today they have? So what Anthony Sahab, what he has said, non-democratic, I do not want it to talk like this, but I am saying what alliance they have made. It is an infiltrator, Naxal dynast Islamist alliance. I don't want it to come to that level. It is an alliance of the infiltrators.
You still have it written down, Mr. Pandey. Come on. But Mr. Pandey, let me actually ask you this. Let me ask you this. Okay.
Did you say this? That why you are saying non-democratic? I am saying again, infiltrator, Naxal dynast, Islamic alliance. This is, they are getting support of all these people.
I am just responding to this that you did not want to say it. You said you did not want it to say it, but you have still said it because you had it written down, right? You wanted a point to make. You had a point to make. Okay. Yeah, please.
Only one line. What I'm saying, you see, who are supporter of urban Naxals, who are supporter of PFI, who are supporter of SDPI, who are saying Osama ji, the Vijay Singh I am talking about. So all these people, let's be together. My first point, that 225 seats we won by more than 50% vote. You don't forget that. Still, we will have alliance with the like-minded people. Understand? This Aam Aadmi Party, from morning to evening, they used to call all Congressy chor. Rahul Gandhi chor, Sonia Gandhi chor, Priyanka Gandhi chor. Now they are chor mo tere bhai. Let them enjoy. What I'm saying, BJP can fight at its own and get more than 315 seats.
If you
But
are that
all
content,
the people who have left us,
Mr.
will join their
Pandey, if you are
hands
that
with our
content
ex-party.
that this entire opposition alliance of the 26 opposition parties is not going to be making any dent as far as the BJP is concerned, then why go ahead and show a counter strength in the name of this NDA meeting? I am asking you that question again because you've
I'm
still not
responding.
answered that question from the beginning.
No. I have responded. All the people from all the society, all the groups, the BJP NDA wants a representation of all sorts of people. You understand? Ram Vilas Paswan ji was the first alliance partner in
How will
India
you
with
keep his
Atal
son
Bihari
happy?
Vajpayee ji.
How are you going to? How are you choosing to keep the son happy? How are you going to actually skirt through whatever the demands that have been made by Chirag Paswan? And in that context, how will you also placate the uncle?
Brihaji, what I am saying, these all parties which you have said, they were our alliance partner. And your first question, you said I did not reply. That is that all sort of people from all communities, if any parties were O.P. Rajbhar, then he contested election against us in Vidhan Sabha election.
Yes.
Still we are joining hands because we support Rajbhar. First time we brought Suhail Dev's statue, Manya Amit Shah, our home minister. What Congress was doing only? Indira ji, Rajiv ji, Nehru ji, this ji, that ji. We are bringing from Mato community. We are bringing in Suhail Dev from community. We are bringing Paswan. We are bringing Sahni. We are bringing Majid. You try to understand. You said I did not reply. I am not the person. I reply every question.
Okay.
Because why we are bringing them? Not because we are worried about the outcome of. We want representation from each and every section.
Okay.
That's why we are bringing. Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas.
So, Mr. Pandey, your response is that despite the differences, you have brought back the original NDA alliance partners into the
There is
fold.
no difference. Don't
And
worry.
you said that the parties did fight against the BJP, and that's why the difference is something that I'm underlining. But why do you think that the opposition will not be able to make that very point that you're making? Let me actually bring Riju Datta of the TMC, and on that note also inform our viewers that Abhinandita Mathur of the Aam Aadmi Party is also with us on the debate. But Riju, please make your point.
Thank you. Now let me expose the BJP point by point. See, there are two questions that was asked over and over again where the opposition at some point of time did not have an answer. Well, today we have got the answer. The first question is, if not Modi, who? Well, the answer is India. Second, what is the common minimum program? Answer is BJP hatao, desh ko bachao. Now let me expose them. The problem with people from Bihar is they cannot get out of their caste and community politics mindset. Well, in India, in every other state is not decided on caste politics. It is not even decided on religion politics. It is only Bihar and UP where caste politics are prominent. So that does not show the picture of the entire community or the entire country. Point number one. Now, Modi ji used to say, and the BJP and all its IT mechanism used to say, "Ek akela sab pe bhari." अभी उस अकेले को 38 साथियों की जरूरत क्यों पड़ रही है चलने के लिए? Why? Because Mr. Modi and the entire BJP is rattled. If you go by the internal surveys of RSS, they know they are losing 2024 elections. So they are running from pillar to post, from state by state, trying to get whatever loser possible in their fold, ki taki kuch to mile. Out of 38 opposition parties that are sitting now in Ashok Hall, which is the Mahathagbandan which is happening, a party of chores and luchas and choru chakkas and everything, what they are saying? They are saying we are together. Out of that, 24 parties have no Lok Sabha representation. 7 parties have 1 Lok Sabha seat, 2 parties have only 2 Lok Sabha seats. Now my question is, people who are calling others chores and whatnot, why is Conrad Sharma, Amit Shah used to say on a rally, after as soon as election get over, ED will arrest Conrad Sharma. You made the government with 2 MLAs. What about Ajit Pawar now? Now he is the blue-eyed boy of the BJP. And Narendra Modi and Amit Shah used to call him corrupt, this, that, what not. In Assam, Hemant Biswa Sarma, another blue-eyed boy of the BJP. I remember, and you will also remember, that BJP used to issue pamphlets about Watergate. They used to call him Water Sharma. What happened now? Now he's the chief minister. Shivraj Singh Chauhan, Vapam scam, Madhya Pradesh, blue-eyed boy Chacha ji. तो धूल मुंह पे है, ये लोग आईना साफ कर रहे हैं. And there's a saying in English also that people who live in glass houses should not throw at stones at others.
Okay.
My point is simple.
Talking about glass houses, Riju.
I'm just finishing.
Yeah.
I'm just finishing. In 2024, one thing is very clear. It is, on one hand, there is India, one hand, there is N.D.A. Problem for troll Malviya is now he cannot even ask his troll army to tweet boycott India, because that will give different, perspective. So the thing is, it is India versus N.D.A. It is all collective opposition which is needed in a democracy, progressive, like-minded, secular democratic parties who are fighting to save India, its citizens and the constitution against a fascist regime controlled by Mr. Narendra Modi. And I have only two questions that I want to ask my BJP counterpart. And I will finish. First question. In this grand alliance of N.D.A, where we have seen all these spent cartridges of 33 zero parties who have joined, is ED, CBI, IT and some part of the Godi media official N.D.A alliance? Please answer that question. And second, who's the face of the N.D.A alliance? Is it Mr. Narendra Modi or is it Mr. Kirit Somaiya? Please answer these two questions.
Okay. Mr. Pandey, before you go ahead and answer Riju's question, let me ask Riju another question. You said people who do not have, who have glass houses should not be pelting stones at others. But when it is about regional interests, there is a big bone of contention. Let's talk about just the Congress and the TMC. How are you going to be keeping those regional biases aside? If you are planning on talking about unity, how much of a conviction is there behind that unity that you talk about?
Straightforward answer. See, I am not a political analyst. I am a very grassroots politician. The optics and for local elections are very different from general elections. So now we have our differences. But for the larger issue, for the country, its people and its constitution, we are ready to sacrifice all our issues, all our egos, come together on one platform to remove this fascist regime from India so that India can take a breath of fresh air and start afresh from 2024.
Okay. Yes, Mr.
I would like
Pandey.
to ask Mr. Datta one simple question.
Yes, Mr. Upadhyay.
In the last 2019 election, Congress got 0 seats in West Bengal. Left parties got 0 seats. Now, after this alliance, how many seats are you ready to give it to Congress and the left parties? How many seats will you leave?
Yes, Mr. Upadhyay, that's a fantastic question, which is also on our
very fantastic. But you need to address that question. You need to address that question.
It is. Can I just finish?
Yes,
I'm the official spokesperson of the party, but that seat sharing is, as you know, sir, is yet to be decided on the third meeting, which is happening in Mumbai. So once the meeting is concluded, I'm sure the senior leaders will give a press bite and everybody will know.
No, that is where you will stumble. That is where you will stumble.
Okay, that will be a stalling exercise, Mr. Upadhyay. This will go about in circles. Let me actually bring in Abhinandita. Abhinandita. All right, Riju, Mr. Upadhyay. Yeah, 1 second. Let me actually bring in Abhinandita because she is yet not set out her piece. I would like to understand this very question about regional interest that I was taking with the TMC. When it is about sparring with the Congress party, even Aam Aadmi party is not far behind. How do you think, will you dodge that question as far as your political outfit is concerned when it is about the grand alliance and this photo opportunity that you guys are doing first in Patna, now in Bengaluru? How do you think that sustenance can really come? Because this question is not going to leave you.
Well, most certainly this, alliance is also happening at a time in a context in the backdrop of a very fascist Modi BJP government. And I think that all the parties that have come together are mature. This does not also mean that we will, not fight each other in assembly elections. I'm sure that, Congress in Delhi, Congress and Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi are going to contest each other with the same in the same spirit as they have. And it will go on for, I think it would be true for other parties. That is not the problem. That is the beauty of our democracy. That is the beauty of our federal structure. That is not the problem. The good news right now is that, responsibly all political parties are coming together, because this is our opportunity to save the country. The way in which the BJP is actually exploiting the people of this country for personal gains, the way they have absolutely, looted certain sections of the society and so on. So this alliance is not so much of a political alliance in that sense. This alliance is alliance to, safeguard the interests of the farmers. This alliance is against the, MPs like Brij Bhushan who are offenders against women. This alliance is more about protecting the federal structure, protecting the constitution and so on. So I think that very responsibly, all parties are coming together. Having said that, of course, there are modalities that will still need to be worked out. And I don't think that it will be, it should be expected of any spokespersons, including those of the NDA, to right now discuss seat shares. That's not the question right now. The big, sort of the writing on the wall is that there is a strong sentiment amongst the public, which is anti-BJP, anti this Modi government. And that is what is finding resonance in these political parties that are coming together.
Mr. Anthony, let me bring you back here. Whatever we heard from the members of the TMC and the Aam Aadmi Party, your alliance partners, the grand opposition alliance that we continue to talk about, and this was somewhat borderlining the question that I had already asked you. When it is about the NDA, they do have a clear vision, the clear agenda, and also a leader, as opposed to the claims that Riju Datta is making. I would let Mr. Pandey also answer on BJP's behalf. But that is clearly missing within the opposition ranks. And every time we end up talking about what is going to be the agenda that has been set by the opposition in this meeting, because remember, this is not the first day of the meeting. This is the third meeting that has happened. At least something must have come about that was constructive. So, Mr. Anthony, I really want to understand, how is this opposition alliance going to stay away from the crucial question of whether it is just an anti-Modi bloc or not?
You should understand, the best thing about this alliance which has come out is you have seen a very matured response from all the alliance partners, stating that, no, we have our own politics, but we have come together here to save this country from a person whom we should not save himself as a non-corrupt person. We are making a direct allegation against the Prime Minister that he is involved in the corruption with the Adani scam. There are no words minced here. And then, they are making claims on Dynast, who is Ramvilas Paswan's son, who is Maji's son, and who is Rajnath Singh's son, who is Gobinath Munde's daughter. Aren't we asking the questions? Just by shouting like a street plays in a studio doesn't absolve anyone from any answers. We are asking direct questions. We are directly making a claim that this country is being run by a fascist regime. If anybody makes a noise against the government or acts against the government in terms of criticism, the next day they are raided. Look at how Senthil was the minister. Senthil was raided in Tamil Nadu. And now you are asking me, Griha, you are asking me as a media person with a responsible question that, no, what is your agenda? I don't see the responsible media asking the same question to the Prime Minister on what is happening in Manipur.
No, I will go back to that question of corruption that has been initiated by Riju also, and Mr. Pandey is waiting to answer and respond to that.
Let me complete.
Yes, Mr. Anthony. Please go ahead, complete your point.
So, on Manipur, the Prime Minister has the audacity to say that I can broker peace in Ukraine, whereas he has got an issue of a burning, displaced state with 50,000 people displaced out of their houses and getting killed by their identity. He doesn't have time to speak about that. And the non-destructive, you split you respect Bal Thackeray, you piggyback Bal Thackeray to enter Maharashtra, and then you hit his son, backstabbed his son. In a state of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, you backstabbed two regional parties with Maharashtrian origin, and you're saying that you're going to win from here, the second largest state after UP, for the parliament election? It's a dream. Okay. So I am saying that the common agenda, it needs mature discussion. It's not going to be an easy discussion, but the goal which we are united.
Okay, so let's go back to the corruption question, Mr. Upadhyay. I'll come to you in just a bit. I'll come to you. No, 1 second. Let me bring in Mr. Pandey. 1 second. Mr. Pandey, I know, I'm coming to you, sir.
You are not giving me time.
Mr. Pandey, I'm coming to you. Hear my question. Mr. Rajiv Pandey, I'm coming to you. Please be patient. I am coming to you. The question is for you. So please hear my question out. We're talking about Maharashtra. Mr. Anthony just spoke about Maharashtra. Let's talk about the NCP. The Ajit Pawar faction of the NCP is now with you. Praful Patel, in fact, the only leader to have attended the opposition meet that happened in Patna, and today he's present at the I.N.D.A. meeting. Prime Minister himself, who's talking about the corruption, had spoken about how NCP is a political outfit, political party that's laced in corruption, the Nationalist Corruption Party that he'd claimed and given it a new name. How do you actually plan to go ahead and defend the corruption charge that you are making against the opposition leaders?
Grihaji, first let me respond. There are so many questions I put one by one. Within 1 minute, I will respond everything. First of all, last question was that how we have backstabbed Shiv Sena, that Antony Saab is talking. You know, Congress has no shame that they contested election against BJP and Shiv Sena alliance, and then they accepted Shiv Sena Uddhav Thackeray ji as a CM. They have some shame or what? They contested election. Shiv Sena defeated every seat, 54 seats. No, don't disturb. I did not disturb anybody.
Nobody is disturbing.
54 seats Shiv Sena. 54 seats Shiv Sena won, defeating NCP and Congress. Do you have that shame? Sonia Gandhi had some shame. She accepted. Okay, no problem. Then now I'm coming to Riju Dattaji. Some question. He's saying there are some parties which has no member of parliament. RJD, so-called a big alliance, Lalu Prasad Yadav ji, who is convicted in 4 cases of chori of chara. He had 0 seats in Lok Sabha. Aam Aadmi Party, 1 seat in Lok Sabha. This kind of alliance, and JDU 16, because of our alliance, they could get. Now this time opening no khata, not a single seat in Bihar. Mark my word, note down this. I'm saying, repeating, no seat to JDU, not a single seat. Now I'm coming, he's saying what ED will do. What will happen to them who are ED, and he's saying who is the face? Face is Narendra Bhai Modi, and face will be Narendra Bhai Modi in 2029. You think about 2034. So let's leave that. I am saying as for ED, but PMC is also talking. छाछ तो छाछ, छलनी भी बोल रहे हैं. इनके एक पार्था चटर्जी थे, जिनकी महिला मित्र के यहाँ 62 करोड़ रुपए का कैश मिला, and still that person is in jail. You know, in this country, ED raid, police raid, CBI raid. You know, after that, you have to go to the court. You have to, don't disturb, I didn't disturb anybody. I am saying, Grihaji, just listen to me.
Yes.
I am talking to you, and through you, I am talking to the people of this country.
Yes, please go ahead.
The moment raid takes place, thereafter arrest takes place, then matter goes to the court. Do you remember? There was Nawab Malik, NCP minister. For last 2 years, he's in jail. This Partho Chatterjee and his girlfriend, sorry, or friend, I don't know, or Mahila Mitra, I can say, who is having, for dogs also, this PMC wale chor log, Partho Chatterjee, कुत्ते के लिए भी फ्लैट अलग से रखते थे. 62 करोड़ रुपया एक जगह से मिला. All 2000 notes. The whole country has seen. These are, I am saying, मोदी जी ने जो कहा था कि एक अकेला सब पर भारी, this statement was for one reason, that alone Modi ji will fight against the corrupt people. No, don't be talking between. I didn't say anything.
I'd let TMC and Aam Aadmi Party also answer the question. Mr. Pandey, please quickly complete your point and also answer what I have asked you earlier. Because from a corrupt party, how did NCP suddenly get into the fold and become all squeaky clean?
Ma'am, what I'm saying, just I'm concluding and then I'm coming to your question.
Please.
I am only saying the people who are corrupt have very problem with Modi ji face only and his personality in the parliament or in the front. What I'm saying now, you have asked me a question about the NCP. You know, you understand, NCP was led by Sharad Pawar Sahab. Sharad Pawar Sahab was ruling NCP and he was in charge of everything. And at that time, what has happened, the whole country knows. His name was there in one of the report also. I don't want to come into all these things. Any party who join hands with BJP cannot participate or go for corruption because BJP will not accept this. And one thing I want to say last, Grihaji, whoever is facing case, keep quiet. Sir, listen, please. You are disturbing, sir. You are, Antony.
Please complete your point. Mr. Pandey.
Grihaji, I am saying,
more than 1 minute. Please complete your point.
Whatever, 30 seconds, whatever case is going against anybody, it will continue. Partho Chatterjee to Nawab Malik to Manish Sisodia will rot in jail because they have looted public money.
No, but please talk about the leaders who are now in the NDA fold. Just talk about the leaders at least who are now under the NDA fold. You have skirted that question.
Case will keep on going. Grihaji,
one second.
Case will keep on going. Don't worry.
No, what happened to the cases? Where are the cases against those people who have been accused? There were cases against them.
Why is he shouting? He can speak normally.
Abhinandita, 1 second. Let Riju first respond, then I'll come to you. Yes, Riju.
Yes, BJP has this washing machine where जितने भी चोरू चक्के हैं वो धुल के साधु बाबा बन जाते हैं. Like Ajay Mohan Bist, he went through the washing machine, 37 criminal cases, became Yogi Adityanath. These are facts that they cannot hide. Hemant Biswa Sarma, Narayan Rane, B.S. Yedurappa, अजीत पवार सारे धुल के साफ हो गए. कुछ दिन पहले नीतीश बाबू इनके मामा थे. As soon as Nitish Babu deserted them, अभी Nitish Babu और लालू बाबू चोर हो गए. See, the problem is they are a party of hypocrites.
No, I didn't say about Nitish.
On national TV.
Mr. Pandey, they did not interrupt you.
Please shut up. Now I'm telling you live
Vijay
on national
Jatta,
TV.
I would expect some parliamentary language on the debate. Please do not do this.
I'm just giving it back the way BJP understands.
No. He has not used any kind of language which will be impacting this debate. Please do not say shut up or anything on screen. You have to just make your point. Please make your point. The other person will keep quiet.
After 2024 elections, now ED, CBI cannot see BJP. They have partial conjunctivitis in their eyes. They cannot see BJP. So after 2024 elections are over, and after BJP loses, Narendra Modi and each and every one of their chamcha will go to Tihar jail. I'm saying it on national TV. And for you to find a BJP spokesperson, you have to deport a cameraman outside Tihar jail permanently.
Okay, Abhinandita, quickly, your point before I bring in Abbas Haider of the Samajwadi Party, who's also now with us on the broadcast. Abhinandita, please quickly make your point.
Okay. BJP has absolutely no agenda for the country, and that is very evident. Now, I don't know what they are planning to do with people like Hemanta Biswas on national television. Why doesn't Mr. Rajiv Pandey also assure the people of Assam that an accused like Hemanta Biswas will be punished? As they are going against all the other opposition. One very important thing that you had asked that I really would like to answer, and that is that what is it that this India alliance is going to give to the people of this country? What is it that we have to offer except bringing down the corrupt Modi regime? So what this alliance is actually going to bring is bring the country back on track. Bring jobs for the youth, bring hope for the country, bring safety for the women. There is a lot, and that agenda will also be spelled out, in the next few months. So, through your channel, we must assure the people of this country that this idea of India is not just about pulling down the BJP government, but also has a very progressive approach, an inclusive approach, and will deliver on promises of governance. That is what this alliance is going to be all about.
Okay. Abbas Haider, although we do not have light on your face, but I quickly want a point from you that and strictly needs answering. When we talk about opposition unity, don't you think also in a sense that, all right, we seem to have lost that link with Mr. Haider, but let me actually bring back Mr. Anthony of the Congress Party. I'll ask you the same question that I was about to ask Mr. Abbas Haider, Mr. Anthony. The whole idea of opposition unity is being questioned by this NDA meet that is happening, where they are also taking on certain other factions of the opposition party who've decided not to go with you guys. They are not part of the 26, and those are the people who have now joined the ranks with the BJP, and they are now part of the NDA. We still have no clarity on the BRS factor. We would get to understand, and we'll get Mr. Pandey to actually throw some light on that. But don't you think this is also a huge question mark as far as the grand opposition unity is concerned? Samajwadi Party's ally, Mr. Rajbhar, is now with the BJP. What does one make of that?
This is politics. And right now, the opposition unity is basically to get this country back to its underlying constitution. We have issues with unemployment. We have issues with export, coming down. 22% is export down. The economy is in shambles. The poor is becoming poorer. We are promoting a monopolistic economy right now. So these are the issues which we are figuring out. On that note, we have a larger, last meeting we had 16, this meeting we had 26, next meeting we will have better. We are engaging with the political parties. There are certain political parties, which would like to align with the ruling regime for favors for them. So we can't help it. But as far as largely concerned, we are here to fight for the people of this country on these parameters to get this country back in terms of a largely peace and, as well as the economy, as well as restoring the country into a normalcy. The BJP is driving this country to a fascist nation, monopolistic economy. And this is what, we need to kind of, change right now. And for that, any particular party which has got an interest towards this country is welcome to join the opposition front. So we are very clear about it. At the same time, we are also very clear that we are political parties who fight against each other in the states. At the same time, for the cause of the country, we are uniting together. So this is an evolving process and we will evolve accordingly. That's what all I have to say about this.
Okay.
And with respect to the corruption allegations made by Mr. Pandey, just want him to think about the minister who was caught red-handed in Karnataka with 8 crores of cash on the Karnataka Mysore Sandalthorpe responsibility. What are those things? Why are you so blatantly lying in the national television that BJP is going to do something about this? Everybody knows very clearly that BJP is blatantly protecting and offering the cover of protection for people who are joining them and saving them from the corrupt practices. So what are they trying to hide? And that is why we call them as a non-democratic alliance, because everybody is coming into that alliance due to or threatening. That's exactly what I'm saying. And whereas here the opposition alliance, irrespective of the splits as well as all other aspects of it, we are trying to put a plan together to form the country back into its shape. And with respect to the Shiv Sena allegation which Mr. Pandey made, Shiv Sena after the election came as a single unit to form an alliance with the I.N.D.I.A, with the NCP and the Congress. It didn't split in two and came to us as an alliance. It fought the election together, and after the election, there was a promise failure from the BJP to offer the chief minister post, and they didn't join. They didn't give the offer to Uddhav Thackeray. So that is why the Shiv Sena came in as a whole and not in parts. So we never backstabbed anybody. We never piggybacked anybody. We talked to a party who came in as the whole party who got elected in the election. So what principles and morality has got BJP to say anything which is blatant lie to the nation?
Mr. Antony, not everybody is buying the unity logic that you are in fact serving. When it is about, let's say, Telangana, what about the BRS? They are not there. There was the BRS chief trying to stitch a third front or probably have his own political alliance along with your allies like Mr. Nitish Kumar, like the Shiv Sena in Maharashtra. Where is he now?
Telangana is a state which is going for elections. There are things to be discussed there. There are things, we don't know whether BRS is going to be with us or not. But we are fighting them in the state. That we are very clear about it, and we have a significantly advantageous position in the state. So these are real life political situations which we need to understand. So you cannot say that unity is kind of stitched in a thread. There are discussions going on. There are political differences there. There are political realities existing, and then for the cause of the country, if anybody is uniting with the opposition, we will. And then this unity is not without sacrifices. Every party involved in this process will have to undergo a certain amount of practices, and that sacrifices we all have agreed upon for the cause of saving this country from a fascist regimen. Okay. That's the clarity which we have on the process.
All right, Abbas Haider of the SP is back with us on the broadcast. Let me ask that question that I wanted to, ask of the Samajwadi Party. Abbas Haider, you've lost a key ally in Mr. O.P. Rajbhar. They have now joined the ranks of the N.D.A. That loss, how bad is it for Akhilesh Yadav and the SP faction, and what does it say about how united does the opposition stand?
See, O.P. Rajbhar has been working for Bharatiya Janata Party for quite some time. In the recent UP by-elections, he has fought against Samajwadi Party, against the alliance of Samajwadi Party and OP. And by the way, now Bharatiya Janata Party is on back foot. That is why they have to take Mukhtar Ansari's son. Now Mukhtar Ansari's son is ally of Bharatiya Janata Party because he's an MLA of Suhil Dev Bharati Samaj Party, O.P. Rajbhar's party. So this is what has happened. And actually, by leaving O.P. Rajbhar, we don't need such people because this battle is for the constitution, for the democracy of this country, and weak people certainly can't fight this battle. And O.P. Rajbhar is one person who want to stay in power because in Uttar Pradesh there are like more than 3.5 years left in UP government. So he certainly wants to stay in power, and he have been criticizing the Bharatiya Janata Party government for quite some time. He has been saying that Bharatiya Janata Party government is against the social justice, against the backward section of the society, what they have done in Uttar Pradesh. But now all of a sudden he has to join Bharatiya Janata Party because it is about personal gains. It is about opportunism of O.P. Rajbhar, and we are happy that such people have left us because we have time to work on that. And I'm sure that the backward communities in Uttar Pradesh will definitely, they're not going to accept this, what O.P. Rajbhar has done to them.
But don't you think it will be denting the Samajwadi Party in the state of Uttar Pradesh, because it was a huge amount of, they got in a lot of clout in eastern UP as far as the vote share is concerned. They in fact dented BJP's vote share in the assembly elections last year.
Let me tell you, O.P. Rajbhar contested 19 seats with alliance with Samajwadi Party, out of which he has won 6 seats.
Yes.
And earlier to that, in 2017 election, he fought with Bharati. He was in alliance with Bharatiya Janata Party. Then he won 4 seats. And prior to that, he has never got a single seat in Uttar Pradesh. So certainly there is no clout of O.P. Rajbhar or his party. It is about, because such parties, they want, an umbrella of a bigger party under which they try to get seats. This is what they do. They try to negotiate. They try to bargain.
So, Mr. Pandey, how much of those little caste calculations be working for the Bharatiya Janata Party? If you've gotten parties like O.P. Rajbhar's party or the LJP for that matter, how much of that is going to be benefited? Or are you only concentrating, as far as UP, Bihar and the state of Maharashtra is concerned? And that's why these smaller parties have been brought into the fold of the NDA?
Grihaji, in UP, last time, because of the support of Behan Kumari Mayawati ji, SP could win, I think, 5 seats. 2 seats they lost in Upchunav. Next year, no seat, 0 seat. That also you can record, SP 0. Now I'm coming to the points which is raised.
Yeah.
And Nitish Kumar is saying that, economy is in bad shape. When we got independence, we were... Just 1 second. No, please.
Mr. Pandey, yes, please continue.
In the whole world, India was 10th largest economy. The kind of, efforts Nehruji and Indira ji and Rajiv ji put, that brought to 13th position. Now Modi ji has brought back to 5th position, but still BJP is not working. The per capita income in 9 years has gone almost double. The size of the economy has almost gone double. For that we can have another debate, because Anthony Saab cannot see time and again saying fascist. I know why fascist words come so quickly in the mouth of Anthony Saab, because Sonia Gandhi's father, I think, was in the Mussolini's Sena. Some relation was there.
That's
I don't know whether it is correct or wrong. No, what I say. You are fascist. You are telling us fascist.
You cannot call upon someone.
You are telling us fascist.
1 second, Mr. Gandhi, let him make his point. Let him make his point. I request you to make his point.
Mr. Anthony.
Mr. Pandey, please make your point. Please don't engage. Please make your point.
Fascist party. No, I am talking to you, Griha.
Please make your point quickly. I do not have time, sir.
Just 30 seconds more. If anybody calls my party fascist, I will tell. We are democracy. We are Ram Rajyawala. Democracy was there when Lord Ram ruled this country. Unlike this Riji Datta kind of people. Now I'm coming.
Okay, if you all talk on over one another, nobody is going to be heard. One second. Mr. Pandey, have you completed your point, sir?
No, Riju Datta,
please. Riju, please.
Don't.
1 second. Mr. Pandey, complete your point, please.
Where is Partha Chatterjee? That criminal. How much money?
Okay, you are digressing from one point to the other. There's no point going about like this. On that note, I would like to thank all my guests, because now it has become a cacophony and nobody will be able to be heard because of the cacophony that's led to. Right now, an NDA meeting is underway. The opposition meeting in Bengaluru has culminated after 2 days. This was a 3rd meeting, and this new alliance of the opposition parties is going to be called I.N.D.I.A. We're slipping into a very short break. We're coming right back with some breaking news.
Inside Ashoka Hotel, where this NDA meeting is going to commence any moment from now. All the top leaders of Bharatiya Janata Party, the likes of Prime Minister Modi, Union Home Minister Amit Shah, Rajnath Singh, JP Nadda, they all have arrived here at the venue, and in fact all other leaders of 38 NDA parties, they are also inside. So we are told that as the meeting begins, it will be Union Home Minister Amit Shah who will be addressing all these political parties who are present there. What is going to be the line of address of Amit Shah, that is also going to be very, very interesting. We are also given to understand that there will be a resolution which will be passed at the end of this NDA meeting, and of course also Prime Minister Modi will be giving an address to the gathering of these 38 political parties. Now, the crucial point here is that this meeting is coming at this juncture, and this is the point which opposition parties are picking, that why this NDA meeting is taking place this time when we have not seen such meeting of NDA taking place in past couple of years. And when we are meeting, when we had our first meeting in Patna, when BJP saw the attendance of 24 parties in that meeting, that was the shivering point for BJP, and therefore they decided to call this meeting of NDA. And they are also saying that the small parties which BJP is bringing back in their fold at this moment are those parties which were abusive towards BJP in the past, which left BJP by saying so many things against BJP, and now see these parties are back in the fold of NDA. So what we are seeing at this juncture is that both back and forth from opposition and NDA side.
Okay, Arun, we'll just request you to stay on with us. Our colleague Payal Mehta also now joining us on the broadcast. So Payal, as Arun was describing what the agenda of this meet is, there's going to be a welcome note as far as the Home Minister is concerned. What is crucial is going to be what the Prime Minister says by the end of this meeting. But what was also interesting are the visuals that we got when the Prime Minister just arrived for the meeting. The people who were there to welcome him. Of course, there was the BJP National President J.P. I.N.D.I.A. There was also the Chief Minister of Eknath Shinde. Help us understand the choice of ministers who were there to welcome the Prime Minister and what's on the agenda in the next 1 hour.
Well, the Prime Minister knows that there were a million cameras which were focused on him at this point in time, and that's one of the reasons those visuals that were coming to the fore were very important. You saw him getting out of his car and then, take the greetings from J.P. Nadda, the party's national president as well, and then he went on to meet Jiten Ram Manjhi. Now, Jiten Ram Manjhi is a crucial factor as far as the party's fortune in Bihar is concerned. He has been in and out of the NDA fold as well. He just walked out of the alliance of the Maha Vikas Yukti, which is in Bihar, the Mahagathbandhan in Bihar, just before the first meeting of the opposition parties as well. So that is something which is very important. He also had a bit of a conversation with Eknath Shinde, and Eknath Shinde could be seen, standing in front of the Prime Minister with folded hands, acknowledging what the Prime Minister was really saying. It will be important to understand from Shinde what exactly the Prime Minister was telling him at that point in time. But yes, the plan is not only to look at 2024, because that's the immediate target undoubtedly, because it's about 6 months to go before the next election. But the important thing will be to understand if the Prime Minister gives them a longer vision. Now, on multiple occasions, Ridhima, the Prime Minister has told his party and several other parties in the government that this is a government which is there to stay for a long time. It's not a short-term vision government. This government is going to be around for quite some time. So that's one of the reasons he's told his party leaders and also his ministers in his government that whatever project you start, you finish that as well. You make sure that you inaugurate it as well and take it to the finish as well. So that's the kind of a message that you're expecting him to send. The Prime Minister once again has also been stressing a lot on Amrit Kal, which is when India turns 100 years old. So probably a message as far as that is also concerned is also going to be going, because the Prime Minister will try and explain to the opposition party agenda is to just be riddled in corruption, but whereas his party and his government's purpose is to work for the welfare of the people as well. And there will be, of course, a account given of what work has been done under the Narendra Modi fold in the last 9 years. He will be felicitated. I saw a garland going in inside, a huge garland going in inside.
So as Payal and Arun both pointing out how crucial this meeting is going to be, and of course what is going to be important is what the Prime Minister says by the end of this meeting. Now we're getting the first visuals from inside as far as this crucial NDA meet is concerned, and on your screens you can see the Prime Minister in attendance, the BJP National President J.P. Nadda and all others, the Prime Minister being garlanded by all those who are in attendance, various dignitaries, ministers and the alliance partners. The crucial importance of this meeting is this is coming on a day when the opposition leaders met in Bengaluru. This of course is a stage being set, the ball being rolled as far as 2024 general elections are concerned. The Prime Minister in attendance shows the importance as far as this NDA meet is concerned. So those first visuals from inside the venue where this meeting is scheduled to take place on your screens. What you see on your screens is the Prime Minister, the Home Minister Amit Shah, the BJP National President, J.P. Nadda and the other alliance partners, almost 38 of them in attendance as far as this NDA meet is concerned. Let me continue the conversation with our guests before we bring our colleagues back. But Meeta Chakrabarti, even as we stay with those visuals coming in from the NDA meet, the Prime Minister Minister put out a very interesting tweet just before this meeting started, saying that this is a tried and tested alliance, not like the other alliances that the opposition is talking about. The criticism that has come the opposition's way is that opposition parties have had very different stance on very important issues like the CAA, like the UCC. How are you expecting to come together when your stance on issues like these have been so different?
What is the commonality between a party like NCP? I think only a few days back, none other than the Prime Minister used to call NCP the naturally corrupt party. We did not say this. This was the Prime Minister Modi. Now, I would like to ask if there was some...
Welcome back. You're watching Viewpoint with me, Griha. We're now getting some breaking news on the broadcast, and this one is a CNN News 18 exclusive. We are given to understand that Justice Gautam Chaudhary of the Allahabad High Court has now sought an explanation from the railways after the train he was supposed to board from New Delhi going onwards to Prayagraj was late by more than 3 hours. The Allahabad High Court registrar now wants the railway GM to give an explanation, and CNN News 18 has managed to access the letter copy. My colleague Akash Sharma is with us on the broadcast. Akash, I wanted to first understand from you, is this the usual protocol? Has this instance ever happened in the past that a judge, because of a train getting delayed, has sought an explanation?
This is not very regular, Griha. In fact, I have not seen cases like such. But definitely, in this particular case, the Honorable Judge has asked for a clarification and an explanation from a General Manager of North Central Railways. So Allahabad comes under the jurisdiction of North Central Railways. And the allegation is, in fact, Honorable Judge is talking about the pantry car, where first thing is that the train was delayed. And second thing was that pantry car manager was in fact not, entertaining his calls. And this is the reason why he has written this letter. Now, as far as Railways is concerned, so we have asked Railways as to what was the case and, what Railways has to say in this particular case. So, CPRO, NCR is not aware of the matter, and in fact, he's checking at this point in time. We'll be informing our viewers as soon as we'll be getting some sort of update from Railways.
Okay.
But as far as this particular development is concerned, so Griha, in any case, a passenger who is traveling in a train is entitled to a number of facilities on board. And this includes the pantry car facilities as well, where, sometimes you charge a passenger for the food and extra services as well.
Absolutely.
Now, in this particular case, what was the reality, we still don't know, but definitely this letter is somewhere coming as an allegation where, it has been said by the Honorable Judge that he was not entertained and his call was not answered.
Okay, in fact, Akash, when we talk about the letter copy that we managed to access, let me actually take this across to my colleague Ananya Bhatnagar, is also with us on the broadcast. Ananya, if you can take our viewers to the contents of that letter, how much of those allegations are part of that letter?
Well, definitely, this letter that has been written, in fact, by the Registrar General has mentioned about the whole incident. And in fact, in the past also, the Supreme Court had, in a judgment, had said that, the railway is liable to pay compensation, and if at all it does not, verify the delay that has happened and could give a plausible reason about it. If at all that does not happen, the railway does not have a proper explanation for the particular delay caused, it can actually, the passenger can seek a compensation, and in fact reasonings are also to be given by the railways, is what has been said by the Supreme Court in a judgment that was delivered in a case relating to an incident that had happened in 2016. But this letter is definitely again, comes up, and the Allahabad High Court Registrar General has sought a response with regards to the delay. It is also been stated that no ticket checker or in fact the GRP police officials were also found in the coach.
All right, Ananya, thank you so much for joining us with all the latest as far as that breaking news is concerned. And with that, it's a wrap from my side on Viewpoint. Thank you so much for watching. My colleague Shivani Gupta is up next with Plain Speak.
Welcome everyone. Thanks a lot for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Shivani Gupta. The stage is set for 2024 Lok Sabha elections. On one hand, in the national capital, 38 political parties attended the NDA meet held by the Prime Minister. That meeting is still underway. Amongst these 38 parties, there are some that have left the NDA and rejoined the alliance to strengthen India, as they say. And the Saffron Party remains, of course, committed to its ideology. On the other hand, 26 like-minded opposition parties met in Bengaluru for a second time as far as bringing together the opposition parties are concerned. And they gave a new name to their alliance today. It now stands as I.N.D.I.A. That is Indian National Developmental Inclusive Alliance. This is, of course, the new rechristening of the erstwhile UPA and allies. Whether this is a rebranding of an old wine or a beginning of new things to come remains to be seen. Another meet will now be conducted of the opposition in Mumbai, but the dates for them is yet to be decided. It's quite interesting to see that out of all the parties in both the alliances, only 9 parties